Welcome to the FRC Top 25 for Week 3 of the 2025 REEFSCAPE season. We're back with a fresh batch of 25 teams who fought hard to earn your votes. We'll count down the top 25, debut our clips of the week, have some healthy debate, and live chat. We'll be going on to let us know, of course, who got snubbed. So let's get ready for the FRC Top 25. This video on fun is brought to you by our viewers, supporters, members, and also in partnership with the following. Earn up to a $5,000 sponsorship for your team or $2,000 individual prize when you provide a video submission to the Altair Global Student Contest at altair.com/contest. You can build better robots faster with Altair tools and provide multiple video submissions for the contest. Download Altair tools for free. Scan the QR code or go to altair.com/contest for further details. AndyMark provides superior service with the reliability that teams expect. Check out their sport gearbox and ratchet sport options to their tried and true compliant wheels used by teams all over the world. From mechanical and electrical products to tools and hardware, head on over to andymark.com for your one-stop shop of high quality and affordable solutions. Welcome to the FRC Top 25 for week number 3 of the REEFSCAPE season for Fun Robotics Network. I'm Tyler Olds.
I'm Ari McMahon.
I'm Ryan Swanson.
And I'm Christina Tia. Week 3 check-in. Where was everyone, or what were you watching? Ari, start us off.
Well, I was supporting 2 teams this weekend. Both of my FRC teams completed. I was supporting 8085 Mojo at the URI district event and also helping out Team 3940 Cybertooth in person at the Kokomo district event. And it was exhausting, and I will never be doing that again.
Never?
Ryan, what were you up to? Never.
Yeah, for me, I was at the Shamrock Showdown in Becker, Minnesota. Shout out to Team 4607. Their field is legitimately built better than the real competition fields. They're able to do more reinforcement. They never have to pick it up. Had a real FMS, real A-stop, real E-stop. I mean, truly incredible to have that resource available in central Minnesota. There were 13 teams there, and we got to play 12 matches, I think, which is great because we don't compete till week 5. So first interaction with the quote-unquote real field.
That's awesome, by the way. Like, how did they get the funding for that or whatever?
Their school built a $2.5 million building, effectively able to dedicate it to robotics and ECFE, among other things. But then the team got a grant, and yeah, just the level of impact they're having in central Minnesota is insane.
That's awesome. So great to see all that support too, especially, in somewhere in Minnesota, it gets so rural in certain areas too. So to be able to be that big is really, really cool. So.
So they'll be able to host a district event, right?
Oh yeah, like not even kidding, for sure. They're doing an off-season event this year. It'll be great.
Nice.
This was actually for me like the first weekend in about 8 years, not including COVID, that I had off during an FRC season. So it was kind of weird, to be honest with you, but it was also great because I got to spend some time with family. Definitely watched some events as well too, especially later at night after the kids went down. And you got to watch like Sacramento on Monday night, so that's not a bad deal either, leading into Roundup last night too. So it was pretty cool, full weekend. I'm not sure if I fully subscribe to the NFL schedule of events by having them 5 days a week now, because it's hard to keep up with everything, but it is pretty cool to watch anyways. Maybe one time or something like that. I feel like I go nuts if I had to try to watch 5-6 days every single week. But Kristine, how about you? What were you up to?
Yeah, I had a pretty similar situation. Was able to watch a lot of events remote while we were getting ready for our next event coming up this coming week. And I honestly was very confused. I thought I accidentally hit some, backwards button on Sacramento, but I was like, nope, JK, that's actually a Monday event. So that really threw me off. And the thought of the logistics of that is just kind of weird, but I would be curious to see what the team experiences or the volunteer experience was like, because that could be a potential option for some schools, especially when you're trying to compete with some of the end of winter sports, kind of early spring, at least in New England, that's how it is. But a lot of great match play. I feel like it's already getting kind of scary in the sense that there's a new level of gameplay and just crazy. And it was also weird because I feel like at least in New England and kind of at some of the other events that I was watching, there are some teams that were just debuting for the very first time, and other teams were closing out their, second event, and some teams are getting ready for their third event. So we're in a really squirrely position, I feel like, with upcoming events, and I'm excited to see where things go and excited to review how things went this week.
Should be worth noting too, we did have a new world record set this past week in a qual match too, which I thought was kind of crazy. It was a qual 40 of Silicon Valley, I believe it was, which was absolutely incredible. Is it 240? I think I don't have the note in front of me. I think it's 240 on penalized, top of my head, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's crazy. If by the way, if you want some more meta discussion, FRC Roundup, which was yesterday, you can check that in our live tab. On there, we have a ton of discussion with Ronnie from 67 The Hot Team as well too. So make sure you dive in a bit more for that. A few things to go over. Of course, before we get into this, we always welcome everybody who's joining us for the first time. Let us know in chat what team you are representing. Let us know if you're watching with your team or by yourself or whatever. We'd love to see who all comes in and watches, especially live. It's always cool to have a live format for us as well too. Don't forget, you're going to see some stats on screen from our friends at statbotics.io, and definitely appreciate all the service that they provide to the community, providing some different stats to give you a flavor of where these teams rank. These teams are all based on the community vote for it. We usually have about 500-600 people vote every single week, so thank you to all of you who submit your votes, especially the ones that are submitting valid votes and stuff. Don't just write the same team for all of them. We just throw your vote out, so makes it easier for us. But with that said, a few things as well too. So we did have with those mid week events on there. ISR 4 was part of this week because I kind of abutted last week on there. We just mentioned Sacramento. That is part of week 3. And then First in Texas Victoria, actually, I think also wrapped up yesterday, and that's part of week 3 as well too. And then we have actually Ontario Humber College going on right now, and that will be part of next week as well. So like I said, like they're all going like they're in the middle of the week now. We got to delineate what goes where. That sort of thing as well too. So it's kind of crazy to have events all week long, but hey, who doesn't love watching events? So if you got any other questions, type in the chat. We'll try to get to them the best we can. But as I said, you're going to see a bunch of stuff on screen. We're going to count 25 through 16, take a break and hear about our snubs of the week. And then we got a bit more different things to pop up for you. Top 50 shoutouts. We'll be debuting our clips of the week, which will also show up on YouTube as well too. Lots of great stuff for that as well. So with that said, I think we're ready to get into the top 25. Ari's going to kick us off in the 25th spot. What do you got for us?
All right, let's start it off with our 25th ranked team. It's 2338 Garrett Forward from Oswego, Illinois, and Oswego High School. With a record of 16-1-0, they were the rank 1 and winners of the Rocket City Regional. Garrett Forward starts the match with a consistent 3 coral auto, placing 1 on each of the processor sides of the reef. They follow this with consistent cycles from the human player station, using their right biased ramp and coral shooting robot to consistently hit the coral RP in 4 of their matches in qualifications. This robot is geared for ranking points, using their consistent climber to hit the barge RP and ending qualifications with a rank score of 5.18. 2338 competes next at the Midwest Regional Week 5, where they'll face off against some of the best of the Midwest, hoping to get that upper level practice in before championships. Good luck, 2338.
There were a ton of Minnesota teams at that event, including a bunch of teams we're competing with in week 5. So I paid really close attention to them. And 2338 was awesome, very well deserving. I'm glad they made the list.
Yeah, Garrett Forward is kind of one of those interesting teams where I always feel like they don't get enough recognition because they're always in the sea of some of these other Central Illinois teams and that sort of thing that we see. And they're so really cool to see them, obviously fought to Alabama, have a great performance out there. Some pretty tough finals as well, too, especially against Beak Squad that they had out there. So really, really cool. Big shout out, by the way, to the rookie team that was on their alliance. I think it's 10011 as well too, who played some really great defense as well. So overall, very great alliance and a great win at Rocket City for them. Congratulations.
Yeah, very fun event to watch all around. So, all right, let's get into number 24. Coming in from San Luis Potosi, Mexico, team 3478 LamBot. LamBot put on a clinic at Regional Leon with a dominant 16-1 record. They captained the number 1 alliance, selecting 4400 and 4782 to cruise through the playoffs, winning multiple matches by 100+ points, with nobody really even getting close. LamBot's consistent 3-piece auto gave them a head start in every match, and their efficiency with algae and coral made them a scoring machine. And when it was time to climb, they pulled off a deep climb in roughly 5 to 10 seconds at most matches, sealing victory after victory. A regional win, an Excellence in Engineering Award, and pure dominance. LamBot is on a mission this season, and I'm excited to see what they do next.
All these PrepaTec teams have just been absolutely crazy. as well. It was funny because I was talking to Lino a couple weeks ago when we were looking at doing forecasts as well too, and it's like half the field is PrepaTec teams at the event that they were, and they're all incredible, which is so cool. Like, you know, for the longest time, you know, we think of just a couple teams out there. We're starting to see even more of those PrepaTec teams and just more teams from Mexico, honestly, starting to hit the list as well too, which is really great for that. Still want to really go to a Mexico event. I hear it's awesome, just partying, just a great time. And honestly, it was funny listening to our correspondents that we now have in Mexico, struggling to try to get some interviews in because the whole place is just booming the entire time, that we're like trying to put every single type of noise cancellation on it because it's just such an exciting facility, exciting venue, and exciting events to be at. So congratulations to LamBot.
Yeah, and I remember seeing so many PrepaTec teams at Champs last year, just looking kind of down the list of each field and seeing so many, to the point where I like Googled it to be like, wait a minute, like, what is this? Like, how are these teams all related? And to hear that they're, you know, even stronger this season is awesome. And I'm going to bring us into the number 23 spot. Coming in at 23, we have team 5813. From Concord, New Hampshire, it's Morpheus. Coming off a win at the Greater Boston District event, they carried that momentum into the Pine Tree District event up north, where they put together another strong performance, finishing as finalists and taking home the Creativity Award. Morpheus ranked second after qualification, showing off consistent three-piece auto that helped them secure the Coral RP in early matches. Their smooth teleop cycles and ability to clear the reef efficiently kept their side open for scoring, making them one of the most reliable offensive robots at the event. As the captain of the number 2 alliance, they partnered with 4909 Bionics and 8023 Argonauts, pushing their way through the playoffs into the finals against the number 1 seed. In the finals, match 2, Morpheus stepped up as outliers 5687 struggled slightly with mechanical issues, taking control of the reef and helping the Blue Alliance surge ahead late in the match for a 160-157 win to force a tiebreaker match. Though they came up just short in Finals 3, Morpheus once again proved they're one of the top teams in New England. With district championships up next for them, expect them to keep refining their play and be a serious contender for another deep playoff run. Congratulations to Morpheus, and it was a blast watching our team play with them. They have a really awesome handoff robot, and I feel like they are really starting to hit their stride, and it's definitely going to be a great showcase at New England District Championships in a few weeks.
Those finals matches of that event were really fun to watch. The defense took the alliances, I think, 40, 50 points off of what they were doing undefended. So if you're looking for good examples of defense, those are fun matches to watch.
Right, and I would say it was really smart defense. It's interesting too because there's only so much defense you feel like, or you think you can play in this game, but when you're really kind of getting teams to drop and they can't pick up, it really totally changes the flow of the game pace. So it was great to see that get pushed to 3. I think Pine Tree put on another absolutely stellar event. I think there were a lot of eyes watching Pine Tree again this season, and I don't know if anybody else noticed this, but in between matches, they were doing Unified Robotics FLL events, and then during the cooldown matches during playoff rounds, they did a judging line for those students, which I thought was absolutely outstanding, and it was on the webcast, which is pretty remarkable in my opinion. So wow. Kudos to Pine Tree and Maine and everybody that put that on. We need to see more of that for sure.
Really great to see some of the lesser known New England teams really get the recognition they deserve this year. Like 5813 made Einstein as an alliance captain last year, has been on an absolute tear this year. Great to see their progression too from week 0, where they kind of, we're still getting things together to debuting at 23 on our top 25. So awesome to see him here. Right, with that, we're going to move into our number 22 spot. Out of Torrance, California and South High School, it's the TorBots. With a record of 13-1-1, 1197 stood out in a crowd of California teams this weekend at the LA Regional as the first pick and winner of the event. 1197 starts the match by putting up 3 Coral on L4, starting that Coral RP early. They follow that with some high-scoring super cycles, clearing the reef and keeping their side clean for Coral scoring. They move quickly around defense, locking in on automated scoring. TorBots climb with ease, averaging 15 barge points across all of their matches, earning that RP all but twice at this event, meaning that they climbed and they also got someone to park almost 100% of the time. This thing's crazy. We'll see them next week 6 competing at the Central Valley Regional in what's sure to be one of the more higher powered regionals of that weekend. Congrats, 1197.
I don't recall seeing 1197 make an FRC top 25 before.
I don't think they have.
And this to me might be the best robot they've ever built. It's hyper competitive. It's going to do really, really well.
It's so cool. I want to see it in person so bad. And I love the the name of the robot, and I love the graphic. Whoever made that totally nailed it. It's so simple, it's so clean, it's so cool. But like, what a cool robot. And what a great name.
You mentioned the barge RP. You know, they're climbing consistently. That's great. Getting people to park is not a given. From what I've talked about, it should be just a given, right? Apparently, it's not a given, which is crazy to me.
I guess you'll find out in
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
The amount of times that I'm like in the stands yelling like, "Go park, go park!"
Right. You just
gotta touch the butt. You just gotta go. Push the button.
All right. On that note, we're going to kick off our number 21 ranked team from Kingsport, Tennessee, team 4020 Cybertribe. Cybertribe took Rocket City by storm, sporting a 14-3 record. They were the first overall pick, teaming up with 2338 and 10-0-11 to form a powerhouse alliance. They hit a bump in match 11, dropping a game to the number 2 alliance, but they fought back hard, reaching the finals and then sweeping that same number 2 alliance to take home the regional win. Finals match 2 was a bit of a nail-biter with only a 5-point margin, and it was Cybertribe's clutch performance, processing 3 algae, cycling coral efficiently, and then a late deep climb that sealed the deal. With a consistent 3-piece auto and smooth driving, 4020 proved they have the skill, the strategy, and the composure to get it done. Keep an eye on Cybertribe. They're just getting started, and we'll see them again in week 6 at the Smoky Mountain Regional.
Hey, real quick, I just want to point out, this will be in clips of the week, but if you can actually see in the back left corner of 2338, this is finals 2, and 2338 in just a few seconds is going to get hung up on a piece of algae, and right in that loading station there, and watch right there, and watch 4020 in a second. They're going to realize it and come back over that loading station and dislodge 2338, and so they get hit there, and then right here, watch this. Whoop, just gets them right down. And that literally just won them the event by doing that, which was so cool on there. So just huge shout out to some big brain plays by that alliance and by 4020 as well, too.
Top-notch driving right there.
Yeah.
All right, and moving on to the number 20 spot, we have team 4476 from Kingston, Ontario, Canada. It's W.A.F.F.L.E.S Robotics. With a 16-1 record, they dominated the Durham College District event, securing the number 1 seed and proving themselves as the top team in Ontario. Their auto was one of the best at the event, consistently scoring 3+ coral on L4, setting up high-efficiency supercycles. With a 21.7 auto EPA and a 45.6 teleop EPA, they cleared the reef quickly and controlled the matches with ease. Their highest scoring qualification match was a 196-89 win, highlighted their cycling efficiency and strong endgame execution. In playoffs, they kept their momentum going, posting a 211-114 win in round 1 before closing out the finals with a 202-131 win to secure their blue banner. As the captain of the number 1 alliance, they selected 88-84 Ice Cubed and 87-31 Green Force, forming a well-balanced, dominant alliance. Alongside the win, they also earned the Innovation and Control Award for their awesome advanced automation and control systems. Now W.A.F.F.L.E.S sets their sights on Ontario, or is it Provincial District Championships? I want to make sure I'm not.
Yeah, provincials maybe?
Provincials, okay. Where they'll look to lock in another banner and solidify their place among the top in Ontario. So congratulations to W.A.F.F.L.E.S.
W.A.F.F.L.E.S overall, in their last event that they were in, lost the finals pretty handily. I think it was like a 60 or 70 point differential in that. Definitely some great improvement by them in their alliance for it. I love the just the overall aesthetics of this robot as well too. You touched a lot on their performance for that, but this is just a very well built machine, and robots like that stand out. I instantly know that's a W.A.F.F.L.E.S robot, and I always love robots like that because having that brand recognition is so important as well too. But just watch how they cycle here, just very simple movements for things. There's not a lot happening, in terms of when they go to do a coral cycle on that. And I really like this. We watch on screen here in just a second. You see just picking it up, just a very short movements for that to get that L2 there, and just very quick and efficient process for that. So I really like what W.A.F.F.L.E.S is putting down this year in REEFSCAPE.
I really like just
Really
how sorry.
You're good. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that they're just a rock solid looking robot when they, zip up, zip down, like nothing's like, like it's not wobble dee wobble dee wobble. It's like it's.
How's that go?
Right. Only doing it once.
I feel like so many teams fell into the trap of like building a robot that does kind of wobble this year, and you cannot have any play in your elevator, especially at high heights, just because that you're scoring on a pipe that's this big and you have a pipe that's this big. So, that amount of air that you have is so important. And W.A.F.F.L.E.S is just so intentional about what they're doing in terms of strategy and also in terms of like how they have built their robot. So yes, very excited to see W.A.F.F.L.E.S on here. Can't wait to see what they do at Provincials. With that, let's move on to our number 19 spot. We are officially in the top 20 here. Out of Waialua, Hawaii, and Waialua High, an intern school, it's Hall of Fame Team 359. The Hawaiian Kids were a lock at the Arizona North Regional this weekend, taking the number 1 seed by 9 ranking points and winning the event in an exciting set of 3 matches. Springing out their elevator on a pivot like a jack-in-the-box, 359 showed up to their second event in the season, increasing their speed and precision on the reef. One of the only teams to make use of the pre-staged coral and auto, 359's Autonomous has sped up with their break in between weeks. No longer a 2.5, but now a true 3. Their ability to do super cycles with algae in the net has benefited them in playoffs, and their consistent coral scoring and climb allowed them to average 5.0 ranking points to take the number 1 seed. While speeding things up did lead to some consistency issues this weekend, with the schedule they have, expect 359 to dial in the details in the coming weeks, where they compete weeks 4 and 5 back to back to back. Good luck, 359.
Now, if 359 does the Jack in the Bot arm better than Jack in the Bot, do we call it a Hawaiian Kids arm? How do we dictate the arm designation?
It springs up like a Jack in the Box. You can't call it a Hawaiian Kids arm.
A spam in the box, or like fair. A Hawaiian spam in the box, a Glenlee in the box. I don't know.
That archetype.
They need to start a book like "Where in the World is Glenlee and his team" featured, and any other team that's also, in 118, and other teams that are just ping ponging around. So
and they keep running out of real estate as all the areas go districts, right? So where are they going to go next year with all their events? Hopefully back to Vegas, but.
We'll have him in Minnesota. I'll make a prediction there. I think Glenn will come back. He was there in 2016. I bet we'll get 359 back in Minnesota. Yeah. The regional islands are shrinking.
You heard it here first, people.
All right. So I'm with a couple New England people. We've got a New England team coming up at 18 from Windsor Locks, Connecticut. Team 176, Aces High, has been flying above the competition this season. With a record of 28-7 and 2 event wins under their belt, they've claimed victory at both the Waterbury District and most recently the Western New England District. At both events, Aces High was the first pick of the number 1 alliance, most recently teaming up with 195 and 97-10 to take on a tough playoff bracket. They stumbled a bit in match 11, losing by a margin of just 4 points to the number 2 alliance, but came back swinging, taking them down in 2 straight finals matches for the win. They showed their offensive firepower in match number 7, putting up 213 points undefended. But when defense ramped up in the finals, both alliances were held under 160 points. 176's strategy includes clearing algae from the reef rather than scoring it to keep their lightning-fast coral cycles running smoothly. Their next stop is New England District Championship, and you can bet Aces High is ready to compete.
Yeah, so Aces kind of had a stumble at Waterbury, and they kind of did this last year too, where they debut the robot and it has a bunch of weird mechanical and electrical problems that they can't really seem to figure out until they've already been picked by the number 1 alliance and you're facing them in the finals of the event. And that's when 176 gets their robot working. And then for them to just absolutely take off at their second event here, Western New England District, really cool to see this robot actually working. And they're going to tune it in. They're going to get some of these finer details worked out. And Aces High is going to be a force to be reckoned with at the district championship, like they always are. So just very good to see them back on form. This is the Aces that we wanted to see. So.
Yeah, I think their EPA is a little misleading in it because kind of as you mentioned, their first event, I think that led them to have a little bit lower EPA versus the rest of the field here in the top 25. And then I didn't look at see what the exact EPA was for Western New England, but I agree. Their performance just seemed to be more consistent at this event, and it was really cool. They were either my snub or my top 50 shoutout last time that they were on as well too. So to see them competing at that high end level, definitely what I expected at 176, and glad to see that they're getting to that spot.
And conveniently enough, in our number 17 spot, we have Team 195 from Southington, Connecticut with their robot NyQuil. It's the CyberKnights. Ranked number 1 for the first time since 2018. They dominated at their first event this season, finishing with a 16-2 record and securing a district event win. 195's auto was one of the best at the event, consistently scoring multiple Coral and L4, setting them up for high-scoring super cycles. Their 17.7 auto EPA combined with their fast acceleration-focused drivetrain gave them a huge edge early in matches. Their top-scoring performances included a 213-point win in qualifications and several other high-scoring victories in playoffs, showing just how dangerous they can be when everything is just starting to click. As the captain of the number 1 alliance, they selected Friends 176 Aces High, who we just heard about, and Team 9710 RoboCats, forming a well-rounded offensive trio. They swept through the playoffs, closing out the event with a 160-125 finals win to secure a blue banner. On top of their dominant gameplay, 195 took home the District Engineering Inspiration Award, recognizing their incredible impact off the field. Next up, I believe they'll be at Hartford for their next district event, which is only their second district event, by the way, because this was their debut event this season. And then we'll be seeing them at district championships, at least for EI, but if I would imagine we'll be seeing their robot there as well. Definitely consider them a serious contender moving forward at any event that they're at. They have a very modular design this year that allows them for quick subsystem swaps. So expect them to keep refining and pushing for even higher scoring matches this season. Congrats to 195.
Yeah, that modular design really informed by last year they did a complete rebuild of their robot after their first event and basically said we're never doing that again. So seeing them this year like come out of the gate storming with a fantastic robot, but also with the ability to make changes to it in such a way that's so informed by what they did last year and what they're going to do in the future is so smart. And I'm very excited for them to be like this high on our top 25. And this is just their debut. Like they're going to get even better. Also, best robot name ever this season. Like I know we had some good ones earlier, but NyQuil, like how do you even think of that?
And go check their team avatar because whoever designed that crushed it. It's not easy to make like a nice little detailed avatar, but they have like their team logo.
I'll try to put it up on here. It's a little hard to bring up on TV.
So good. It's NyQuil.
That's
like,
incredible.
I feel so seen. Like especially as a New Englander, it's just like we in there.
One of the things I was really surprised, Kristine, to hear you say it. So they haven't been a number 1 alliance captain since 2018 is what you said?
Right, and that's straight from the team. So I didn't go fact check that. I believe them because there were multiple sources that confirmed that. They were like, yeah, we haven't been one since 2018. So
I mean, I was gonna say that's just very well because you look at 195. I think they kind of fall very similar to 176 sometimes, where they start out a little bit rough and then just really build upon their success. Because I mean, they were DCMP winners last year, I believe, right, in New England, and they won. I think the event prior to that they were at after that rebuild, as you mentioned as well too, and just a team that just keeps on iterating, keeps on getting better and better. And even though they did win here, I'm sure they're going to continue to try to iterate on that process to get better as well too. But really cool to see 195 flying out of the gate. Definitely for many of us who have been around, for many years pre-COVID and stuff, 195 a very legendary name to many of us. So cool to see them really get back into that form that many of us remember pre-COVID as well too with them.
Like a more fun, dominant 195. Like the like fun side is very strong right now, and I'm here for it. Like the NyQuils and like it's just like like a good scary energy that I would really prefer to not be like on the other side of the field of. But
Nice.
All right, so with that, we're going to move to our 16th spot. Out of Palmyra, Pennsylvania, and Palmyra area senior high school, it's the Krypton Cougars. Rank 1 winners of every event they've been to this season, currently first in the Mid-Atlantic District. 2539 is a team that has optimized reef scoring in REEFSCAPE. With an incredible rank score of 5.42 at Springside and an overall season record of 32-2-0, 2539 hit 8 6RP matches at this event. And you can expect that number to only go up as they get to higher levels of play. Despite having no net capabilities, this robot puts up points. They move Coral from their ramp into their pivoting end effector to adapt to different levels of the reef, and follow that with a consistent climb. We'll see them next at the FMA District Championship in Week 6. Good luck, 2539.
So, Ari, that was going to be my question for you on this. Like, I really do love Krypton Cougars, but late game meta, are they going to need to evolve to have more of an LG game at all, or are they good enough where they are right now?
We'll see. Like, I can see them seeding very high at FMA District Championships because they're built for that ranking point. And I think they'll be able to pick a team like Petty or I think 341 can also do the net that has that capability. I don't know if it's going to be able to offset not having that. And we'll see. I think they won't need it for FMA District Champs. I think they'll need it when they get to World Championships.
At that event or at that level of play, they can also get a third that can do algae. I think they can strategize around that deficiency. I think they'll be fine.
That was an interesting conversation we had last night on Roundup too, is where does that third robot fit in for things? What's the optimal third robot, right? And that really comes down to, like, do you just want them doing LG anyways? And that was one of the things that got brought up last night was, hey, you know, instead of playing defense, instead of doing anything like that, maybe play LG defense, just grab their LG, score it, that sort of thing. So yeah, I agree with you. I think there's definitely a spot for it. The only thing I don't like is limiting myself a little bit to saying, hey, you know, if I'm number 1 seed, by the time it gets back to me, how many decent LG scores are going to be around? Because the other alliances may have the same idea as well too. So I definitely believe in Krypton Cougars. And who knows, maybe they'll come out with something at their next event or later on that has more LG scoring capabilities too.
Alex in chat says, chill on us. We're working on it.
All right. Fair enough, Alex. So
you don't need it yet. Worry about it in a few weeks.
All right. That's fair. Well, hey, we got a bunch of stuff to get into, including our first giveaway that will be starting a little bit, and we'll be going into our snubs as well too. But before we do that, I do have to stop and thank actually our first giveaway sponsor, AndyMark, and give you a little bit more about them as well too. AndyMark's got their spring sale going on right now throughout the end of March, where you get 25% off select products. So make sure you go over to their website at andymark.com for that. And just a little bit more about that. You saw the giveaway. We'll talk about that in just a moment as well too. But make sure you, if you are a team that's going to championships, make sure you know about their Ship the Pit as well too, where you can pick up products right at the AndyMark booth, both for FTC and FRC teams. You can take advantage of this, and make sure you stop by their pits as well for awesome stuff that's there. Every year I stop by AndyMark, they always have some cool thing you can do. Of course, you can talk with many of the team there, find out new stuff coming as well too. So go ahead over to andymark.com and check out their spring sale and what's going on. As mentioned, we do also have a giveaway. You might have saw Bot Buddy pop up. That's what it is for the keyword, but this is for the 35 series symmetrical hub sprockets. You get these are the 10 tooth count, and you get a couple of these as well too. They were perfectly with half-inch hex shaft and mesh with 35 roller chain. They're symmetrical and have the same size hub on both sides, so there's no wrong way to install them. The hub is also sized to ride on only the inner race of a bearing for smooth motion without binding or rubbing. So type in Bot Buddy in chat right now. Don't forget, if you're a YouTube subscriber, you're going to get 3 times luck to win. So click that YouTube subscribe button. It's absolutely free to do to stay up to date on all the content that we have here on Fun. Bot Buddy is your keyword. So we mentioned we're going to start our snubs of the week. So these are teams that didn't even make the top 50. Each one of us picked out a team that we felt really merits recognition, probably should have been at least in the top 50, if not better than that as well too. And this is a great opportunity. You know, when we have so many teams competing. I think there was like 1,800 teams competing this week. It is impossible for us to cover everything in the FRC top 25 for things, or we'd have about a 4.5 hour show for stuff. So we each picked out a team, and let's learn about who each one of us picked. Ryan, let's start with you. Who's on your snub list this week?
Yeah, for me, it's 876 Thunder Robotics. And we're talking about a team here who is a #1 Alliance captain at their first event, and then the #1 overall pick and winners of their second event. And they have a 3-piece auto, efficient cycling. They're good at algae. They're going to be at the World Championship, and they're going to be a contender there. They're going to make the playoffs at the World Championship. So for them to not be in the top 50 was kind of crazy to me. They're awesome. Really, if they would have scorched like 1 or 2 additional teams at their first event, we'd be talking about a 2-event winner here. So Thunder Robotics, a big time snub, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what they have for the World Championship.
Kristine, who's on your list?
My list is 3538 Robo Jackets. Again, really great team. I already see 2 blue banners when you scroll down their Blue Lions page. First one, they were first pick from 33 at their first event, and at their second event recently, week 3, they were first pick of the #1 Alliance and won both events, it looks like.
Yeah.
Yep. So, I mean, real good.
Yeah, I was
Why
very
on this list.
I was very surprised not to see them in, honestly, maybe even the top 25 for this as well too. RoboJax has had a lot of success, and very early on as well too, to get both of these blue banners right away, and both of them in 5 matches straight through really should be telling you something. So I don't know if it's the event. I mean, I know FIM had like 6 events last week, so I don't know if that's part of the case or not, but RoboJax is definitely should be up there for sure. So
Lost in the Michigan sauce. It's tough. There's so many events going on, but still.
There's so much Michigan sauce.
Yes. Ari, what are we missing out of the fun sauce, though? What's your snub?
The fun sauce?
Our fun, like, snub sauce. What's going in the snub sauce from Ari?
So my snub of the week is a team that was at the event that I was at this weekend at the Finn Kokomo District. Got to give my shout out to 868 Tech Hounds. Their robot is so well built and optimized. They have a ramp that leads into a coral shooter on the back, and they have really put in the time to making sure that this whole system works so well together. They had a few hiccups, which I can see why, we didn't vote for them, whatever. They had a few issues with can issues, actually missed a match, was still the first pick of the first seed alliance and won the event. So just absolutely phenomenal robot that they have built together. They will compete next at the Finn Washington District event, and I can't wait to see them compete there. So week 5. Yeah.
My snub of the week is I like to try to dig into areas that I'm not in and stuff too, and maybe some events I didn't watch as much for things. So I'm going to head over to Chesapeake this week and talk about 449, the Blair Robot Project. Chesapeake in many cases, I don't think always gets the love that they truly do deserve on this, and this robot is really one you should be paying attention to. 3 blue banners already, by the way, 2 district wins and a gold cling bling at Severn this week. Overall, this is just a phenomenal machine and everything that goes into it. So really compact design, an interesting like V intake. If you see them as they go to that loading station there, it's kind of right off their arm, which may be like something that they could be defended against. But overall, I thought they did really well. On their premiere night video, if you watch that, they were all about being very open and having CG issues. And I'm very excited to see that it's working and going well for them now for stuff. So it's really cool just to see that progress for 449. To me, what may hold them back is lack of algae manipulation. We talked about that with Krypton Cougars as well, too, right? They're able to dislodge the algae from the reef, but I didn't see any algae scoring capabilities in terms of why am I blanking on what the middle of the reef is called all of a sudden?
The barge.
Thank you. So, and the thing is with that robot, I'm not quite sure if we will see it just because of how compact it is, right? For things, it's potential, but they'd have to do definitely a redesign on their claw for sure, at least in my opinion. So really cool team. Definitely to me a lock at DCMP for this team. And man, if they figure out some sort of algae manipulation on there, this team is definitely a contender going to the championships as well, too, in my opinion. So 449, definitely on my radar. Congrats on a great season so far, and I can't wait to see your robot compete later on this season.
Couldn't agree more. Yeah, let's kick off the top 15, and I've got another New England team for us. So from Worcester, Massachusetts, Team 190.
Hold on.
I butchered it.
Okay, Ryan, we have to stop.
Welcome to the club, Ryan.
No, it's okay.
Why'd you give the Minnesota guy the Massachusetts
Luck
name?
of the draw, man.
Worcester.
All right, we're going to go with that. Massachusetts. I know where that is. Team 190, Gompei and the Herd. Did I at least get that right? Has been on a stampede. Gompei and the Herd has been on a stampede through New England with a 29-6 record. They currently sit ranked second overall in the district and have already bagged 2 event wins, taking Southern Maine as their first pick and URI as the first seeded alliance captain. At URI, they teamed up with 1768 and 5962, going undefeated all the way through the finals. But it wasn't easy. The number 2 seed pushed them to a 3-match showdown, but 190 and their alliance came out on top. With a consistent 3-piece auto, lightning-fast elevator, and efficient algae removal from the reef, they keep their cycling fast and clean at all levels. And they're not slowing down. Catch them next week at the WPI event in week 4, where they're going to look to add yet another banner to their collection. So aside from my butchering of New England words, I'm excited. This is a really fun robot for me to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. And WPI is going to be so crazy competitive too. Like it is the middle of New England and also the midweek that every team was trying to get into. And I know, Kristine, you can talk about this because your team actually did get into it. But just seeing them be in that upper echelon, they've won every single event they've gone to this year. Like it's absolutely nuts.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this week pans out as it's developed, like with the gameplay, and then in general, this particular district event at WPI at their home turf is a very stacked event. So it'll be I think there's going to be really well-rounded alliances. I'm curious to see what their algae game ends up kind of evolving into, because we haven't seen any or much. I mean, I can't say any because I haven't seen every single one of their matches, but we're not seeing the barge. So I'm curious to see where they are when we are at WPI, because I would imagine since even before their last event, they've already been pre-planning and using their field to their benefit to get ready for WPI and to show up with something even crazier. So, and I would be curious at some point, Ryan, if you ever are at WPI or if you're around 190, try to find out what the acronym HERD stands for, because there's no definitive answer, but there are some answers.
Interesting. I'll have to check that out.
A lot of fun legends with that team. It's a long-standing team, and it's nice to see them having a great season.
They're an original and sustaining team.
Yeah,
they are, and they're a great team that helps support the community, because there's very few playing fields, like full practice fields in New England, especially like in city areas like Worcester or even Boston. Like they make their practice space available to so many teams, and it benefits the entire New England community. So congrats to them, and see you guys at your own turf next weekend, or this weekend. And coming up in the number 14 spot, we're going to be going south. It's team 9496 from Spindale, North Carolina. It's Lynx. They made a huge statement at the UNC Asheville District event this past weekend with a perfect 17-0 record again, sweeping their way to a blue banner. Lynx's auto was one of the most consistent at the events, reliably placing 3 coral on L4, setting them up for fast, crazy cycles. Their control of the reef and crazy paths that were made for efficient scoring made them unstoppable in teleop, leading to high-scoring matches, winning in qualifications. As the number 1 alliance captain, they selected 8866 the Firehawks and 10248 Robonauts, dominating playoffs with high scores and victory in round 1 before closing out finals with a 209-118 win. Alongside their event win, they also earned the Innovation and Control Award proving their technical excellence. They'll be back in action this weekend at the Mecklenburg County District event, but you can take a closer look at their undefeated machine before they take the field tomorrow morning when their Behind the Bumpers drops.
Yeah, very excited to show that. I think that will release at 2:30 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday for that. So make sure you take a look. It's available for early access now too. But yeah, LYNK overall, this team both years so far just been incredibly impressive out there and just absolutely dominant in their district as well too. So this team I had a chance to speak with a little bit last year. So really excited to see their continued success for us. Another team as we go through that won both their events in 5 matches in playoffs, just going straight through, which is crazy. I have no clue, by the way. I don't know if anybody knows on match 1 of UNC Asheville, it shows that they won 1-0 on TBA. Does anybody have any clue or in chat?
Yeah, I saw that.
Was a
yes.
DQ or what was that?
So UNC Asheville, they only had 7 alliances.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
So in order to make the playoffs work, they had to fill out as many alliances as possible. So for the first match, they did not play a match and instead just won 1-0.
You're saying they didn't play team 991, 992, 993?
I don't think those teams exist.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. Sorry, Ryan, what'd you say?
Does that hurt their EPA winning 1-0? That's kind of odd.
Yeah, I was wondering that actually.
Oh, spicy.
I mean, they still have 74, so but
yeah, fine.
Yeah. No, that's an interesting point. Yeah, and we could go on this for a long time. And this actually got brought up on Roundup like a week ago as well too. It's like, why is that the system and not some sort of other alternate with 6 alliances or something like that to try to even that out? That seems very strange. There's not like a system built in place for that. Didn't there used to be, or am I just thinking of FTC for some reason?
I think you might be thinking of FTC.
Okay.
I don't think we've ever had events this small that were official events.
Okay. Because FTC definitely has policies for like less than X amount of alliances and how they go too. So I'm surprised FRC hasn't adopted that yet. Maybe on the next conference call between the senior directors, who knows? But
yeah, I think we might be seeing something like that in the future. Just because we're starting to get these tiny little districts that can't really fill out enough teams to make 8 alliances. So we'll see. All right. We are going to hurry up because we've got to get to spot 13. Moving quickly now, we've got Hall of Fame Team 27 Rush from Clarkston, Michigan, and Clarkston High School. With a record of 26-8-0, they were the rank 1 winners of the St. Louis Regional this weekend, managing to not get their robot taken away by a tornado. 27's robot this year uses a pivot on a claw to align on all levels of the reef, including the elusive L1, earning the Coral ranking point in 6 of their matches. Their 3 Coral auto was one of the most consistent at the event, starting the match strong. Their climber and lineup looks a lot cleaner than it has in previous weeks, lifting up almost as soon as they engage. It is a very, very quick climb. They compete next this weekend at the Saline event, where they're looking to lock in their ticket to FIM state champs. Good luck, Team 27.
This is a robot I want to see in person at champs.
Well, I had a chance to see them in person week 1 at Kettering 1. I don't know if they made any improvements from there. I think their biggest improvement really probably could have been control from Kettering 1 on things. They had quite a few issues with how they were orienting their wrist as they were scoring on there, and I didn't really get a chance. I only watched 1 or 2 matches of this event as well too, because I want to check out Ratchet Rockers also, and that really was their big thing. So if that got solved, this is a absolutely elite robot.
They
out
look
there,
like
so
they got it down.
That's good. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I mean that to me was really my only big complaint about them, and why they, in my opinion, lost Kettering 1, or probably were not picked by Strike Zone there. But this is such a cool robot pass set. We had a chance. They have it behind the bumpers. They were, I think, our first one at an event this year, so make sure you go check that out as well too, because this is just such an impressive machine. And the one thing I always say that I love about Rush so much is how passionate their students are about everything on their robots. It's so easy when we get in these teams. Many of us watching are pretty informed and engaged on these teams and in first and stuff like that. But every time you hear like that mentor built moniker get thrown around sometimes, which it just happened on a First Box Facebook group recently and stuff, it's like, man, go talk to these teams and you will find that these students are just brilliant and they are absolutely incredible. And by saying those things that you do just completely discounts everything those kids do because and sorry to go on a rant for this, but like this team just really reminds me of being that pinnacle of like teams that the students are always so knowledgeable, and it's really great to see. And even I know I talked to some newer students on their team for their behind the bumpers, and those students were fantastic as well too. So just overall, just such a great program, and congrats to Rush for their continued success.
It's still hilarious to me that they had Jared Goff in their reveal video. But moving on from that to number 12 from Suwanee, Georgia, team 1771 North Gwinnett Robotics. They're making a strong case as one of the best in PCH this season with a 16-1 record. They dominated the Gwinnett district event, their home event, captaining the number 1 alliance alongside 1833 and 4468. And they swept their way through the playoffs without anyone even getting close. Their rotating wrist gives them the versatility to grab both algae and coral with ease, and their 3-piece coral auto gives them an early lead every match. Add in their efficient and smooth deep climb, and this robot's a threat from start to finish. They're not done yet. Watch for 1771 at the PCH Albany event in week 5, where they're going to be looking for another blue banner. They remind me a little bit of 581, similar twisting wrist that grabs both coral and algae. I think that archetype is one that I'm probably the most jealous of out of every robot I've seen. That's the one that I wish we would have built.
Did they build a robot out of wood this year?
Yeah, that was going to be my question.
Doesn't look like that, but hard to tell from just the TBA videos.
I mean, Chef, we have actually our Georgia correspondents are now on 1771. I should have asked them. I totally forgot about that as well too. But God, this robot's so good. And honestly, this team has become extremely dominant. Watch the way they throw algae, by the way. Like, let's just put that up on screen and watch it. Well, that one was just a bit outside, but the rest of them have been really good. Corey, I always bring up when it's a miss, right? But man, between them and like Walton Robotics, which is really funny because they don't compete together until DCMP. But man, those teams are going to take DCMP by storm, in my opinion. And 1771 is such a team that they have been continually popping up in the top 25. And I think this could be their breakout year in terms of getting the Einstein and making a deep run there too. I really do love everything this team has in terms of their robot and everything gets put together. The only wood is on a robot is the baseboard. I don't know if that's somebody else. But.
Well, that's
the chat's getting so good right now. Like it's
definitely wood.
Yeah,
the robot's name is Driftwood.
Driftwood.
Okay, that might take another top name out there. Just saying.
Absolutely. Oh man, so good. All right, so in the number 11 spot, I don't know how I can like up that. I love good puns. There are so many good puns going on in the chat. In the number 11 spot from Austin, Texas, it's team 6800. It's Valor. Back in action in the first in Texas District Manor event. They ranked number 2 with a 14-3 record and took home the Autonomous Award and powered a number 1 alliance to another blue banner. Valor's auto was dialed in, consistently placing multiple coral on L4, setting them up for crazy cycles and lightning fast coral handoffs. As one of, if not the fastest human loading robots in Texas right now, their smooth paths and automated lining up or alignment made them a nightmare for other teams to deal with. Their qualification match number 16 was a showdown and a little bit of foreshadowing with team 118 Robonauts and 5414 Paradox and 3005 Robochargers. And it was foreshadowing what was to come in the playoffs. High level scoring and execution and strategic coordination on display in that match previewed their event winning partnership with 118, as they later became the first pick of Alliance number 1, joining Robonauts and 9137 Rocky Mountain Robotics. Once together, the Alliance was unstoppable, sweeping through the playoffs with a 206-91 semifinal blowout before locking back-to-back 190-plus point wins in the finals. With Texas District champs on the horizon, expect Valor to keep refining their strategy.
Okay, real quick. I just want to point out from chat that somebody in chat put that it's pronounced manner. We specifically
Manner.
received DMs
We're
on this. And so
different.
8531 from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I don't think you know how it's pronounced in Texas. I'm just telling you. Mostly because I'm from Wisconsin and I would also pronounce it manner. And I think you're completely wrong because we got 3 DMs about it. So it's Manor, which by the way, I think our Texas correspondents got wrong. So I don't know how you expect us all to get this right.
Well, maybe it's like Worcester and Worcester. Potato.
Yeah, exactly.
Worcester.
People get very passionate about, we do try, but people get very passionate about pronunciations, and it's yeah.
We're all learning together.
I mean, we only have 60 fun correspondents. You think we'd be able to ping somebody in some region at some point. But.
We listen, we don't judge.
This is why we need 2 people from New England because of Worcester.
Right.
There's a deep amount of names between like Rhode Island and northern Massachusetts and like New Hampshire, and then you get into Maine where they're borrowing like country names and other places, but then there's some really crazy spellings with QUs.
One day we're going to have a Leominster district and no one's going to be able to get that one right.
That's
where Johnny Appleseed was born, baby. Let's go.
Real couple quick things about 6800, by the way, just overall. Last year I thought it was a bit of a down year for them in terms of robot performance on that. It seems like this year they're really back into the form they want to be. It'll be interesting to see if they modify to any sort of ground intake or anything like that. I agree. I think this team is one of, if not the fastest station scorers out there. So I love the huge funnels and stuff too. I'm happy to see they're getting their algae down a bit quicker as well. So a lot of great stuff from 6800 Valor, which, a couple of years ago to me, I thought they were initially going to be maybe what 3005 was. And last year, like I said, a little bit down, but this year really rising back up and having a great performance. So I think they're definitely right up there in that conversation as well too. I'm more just excited to see what maybe they come up with next as they continue moving on.
Yeah, we got a Nick Olson in the chat. What up, Nick?
So that's original fun producer Nick Olson, by the way. So.
Yeah.
All right, who do you got in the 10th spot?
Okay. Is it time to start our top 10?
Let's do it.
Here we go. All right. From Wentzville, Missouri and Timberland High School, it's 1706, the Ratchet Rockers. First pick and winners of the St. Louis Regional 1706 had an impressive debut of their robot with a rank score of 5.00. Their robot this year features a backloaded ramp with a coral and algae manipulator on the front. Putting up consistent super cycles, this robot was a dominant scorer at their event. Starting off strong with a 3 coral auto, they continue the match focused on putting up points, even hitting the RP in 7 matches, with 5 of those being their last consecutive matches. This robot will only continue to rock out and improve in future weeks. They're headed to the Iowa Regional in week 5 to get a bit more practice under their belts before headed to the first championship in April. Congrats, 1706.
There are so many good teams in the Midwest these days for the and Ratchet Rockers. Yeah. I mean, the last few years have become so good. And this is, when I tuned into St. Louis Regional, I mentioned before, I only watched a couple matches, and it's because I really wanted to watch 1706, and they didn't disappoint. To me, 1706 always been a fast teleop scorer out there, and continuing with that as well too. This robot's just fun to watch, and overall, the last few years, the robots have just been some of my favorites out there in the field.
Absolutely. They've really taken off in the last few years. I think last year watching them at IRI, they were the best, fastest robot on the field. It was really cool to watch them doing cycles and stuff. And I'm really glad they've taken that momentum into this season and built the robot that they did. It's really cool to see.
Couldn't agree more. So yeah, we're breaking into the number 9 spot from Mount Lake Terrace, Washington. Team 1778, chill out. Second time I've had them on FRC top 25 this year. They've been anything but chill this season, sitting at 31-3. They're ranked first in the PNW district, and they've racked up back-to-back wins at Glacier Peak and Bonnie Lake, captaining the One Alliance at the first one, and then they were the first pick at their second event, both times alongside 2046. In the finals at Bonnie Lake, they faced off against one of the strongest number 8 seeds in FRC this year, but they took care of business in just 2 matches. Their elite ground intake keeps their cycles quick. They've been working toward a 3.5-piece auto, adding even more firepower to their game. On top of that, they've actually dialed in their algae scoring into the net, making them an even bigger offensive threat. Their next stop is the PNW District Championship, where Chill Out will be a top contender for yet another banner. You know, the one comment I made the last time I had them on FRC Top 25 was they're one of the best coral only robots in the world. And I actually had that written down until I watched them play. It's like, oh my gosh, they've added algae, and they're no longer one of the best coral robots in the game. They're one of the best robots in the game, and their spot at number 9 is really well earned.
I'm gonna maybe pose a controversial question. Is this a team that could surpass Jack in the Bot this year based on performance? I mean, they're number 1 in OPR or EPA right now in PNW out there. This team has been really fast and really good. Last year they had a great season as well too. I'll kind of just send it. Is there any chance that this team is like the number 1 alliance captain, then picks Jack in the Bot, or is Jack in the Bot just too dominant in PNW right now?
I mean,
I think it boils down to strategy. You know, like I feel like 2910 has this like history of excellence, and like there's something about like knowing how to win and like knowing how to get there, and 1771 could do it on raw talent, and that would be really, really cool to see. But I think 2910 holds it, and I want to be surprised. Please surprise me.
For me, if I'm 1778 and I seed first, you've got, and correct, I could be totally wrong. I might be missing a team, but you've got 2046 and 2910. They've won 2 events with 2046. But if you're in that number 1 spot, how do you not pick 2910?
Oh, I agree. Yeah,
you don't want to play against them, kind of thing, but. They could totally seed first, and if they do, I mean, it wouldn't be an upset. It wouldn't be a shock. They could also be the first overall pick. It wouldn't shock me there either.
I think part of it will be too. Jack and Bob plays their second event next week at Auburn, PNW Auburn as well too, and then kind of comparing that after they both played 2 events leading into DCMP, what that might look like as well too. But I have just been incredibly impressed by Chill Out this year, and I personally would have them about 3 spots higher in this. I think, as mentioned, they're just one of the most efficient robots out there. I love that arm that they have, the movement, and just that whole scoring process they go through. It is not the simplest thing in the world, but it looks freaking cool and it works really well.
Again, I could be wrong, but it feels like PNW, the top teams have leveled up this year. There's more really great FRC top 25 teams coming out of the PNW.
I would agree with that. All right, we're going to be moving on out of PNW and moving on to the Ocho, the number 8. We have team 581 from San Jose, California. It's Blazing Bulldogs, a finalist at the Silicon Valley Regional. They were ranked 3rd overall with a 13-5 record, captaining the Alliance number 2 and proving they can go toe-to-toe with the best. Their scoring efficiency was on full display in qualification match 59, where they put up an impressive 212 points, one of the highest scores at the event. They kicked off the match with a strong autonomous, quickly placing multiple coral on L4 to help secure the early RP opportunity. In teleop, their fast cycles and strong reef clearing allowed them to maintain offensive pressure, while their reliable barge climb ensured they maximize endgame points. They have a great ground game, and combined with a smooth algae scoring, they're one of the best in the game this year. As the captain of the Alliance number 2, they selected 3045 Geared Gremlins and 668 the Apes of Wrath, battling their way through the playoffs to a hard-fought finals appearance. While they came up short of the event win, they still walked away with the Innovation and Control Award and had a student named first Dean's List finalist. With their ticket punch to Houston, Blazing Bulldogs will be ready to make noise at the championship. Expect 581 to get better and better as they know what it takes to compete at the highest level. Go Dogs!
This is still the robot that I've got the most FOMO about. This is a robot that I wish we would have built. It's so simple but so great.
There's simple robots in this game?
For this game, it's not a simple robot. I don't want to undersell that, but for this game, to be able to play the entire game as well as they do, it comes across looking simple.
Which is scary. That's how you know it's like scary good, is when it looks simple. That's when you know it's just not. But I'm really excited that they've got their ticket punched, and I'm excited to see them this high up in the top 25 because they definitely deserve it. Year after year, they are constantly kind of like battling alongside and up against some of the toughest teams, like in in FRC, but they happen to just be kind of saturated at the events that they go to in California. So it was nice to see that they are really like picking up momentum, and I don't know, hopefully I won't be playing against them at champs, but I'd like to see them up close. But yeah, congrats to 581 on another top 25 appearance.
Yeah, go dogs.
Go Dogs.
Okay, we're going to move into our 7th spot. From Hamarkaz, Israel, it's OnyxTronix. Team 2231 is currently ranked 3rd in the Israeli district, winners of the ISR number 2 and number 4 districts with a record of 36-0. Competing in the last district event before district champs, 2231 showed their robots' top potential this weekend as they supercycled to the station for some high-scoring matches. Their robot features an almost 111 style arm for both coral and algae, making 180 spins as it places on the reef and barge. Their algae shooting makes them stand out. I have no idea how this robot got to be so accurate from the distance that they shoot the algae from, but the time that they make up in cycles from not having to drive all the way up to the reef may be the benefit they're looking for to stand out in a highly competitive district champs this weekend. Either way, look for them to be a top scoring robot this weekend at ISR District Champs. Good luck, 2231.
This robot's so cool.
This
All right,
robot's so cool.
I very much so agree with you in terms of their algae scoring capabilities. I think that makes really the perfect alliance partner, especially in a high meta game, as this continues to evolve on that. Like, to me, this is the robot that I'd be looking for my alliance partner, especially if I'm a super fast coral scorer, that sort of thing. Something like this is just a perfect fit for what that is. And OnyxTronix, really, really great performance by them. It feels like ISR 4 was like a month ago, but believe it or not, it was only a week ago when it happened. But all these teams from Israel are amazing. OnyxTronix the last 2 years have been really good, and it's going to be exciting to see them at championships.
Couldn't agree more. All right. Number 6, another team from New England. From Bucksport, Maine, team 6329, the Bucks Wrath. They've been an unstoppable force in New England, sitting at an incredible 33-2 record. They're ranked 1st in the district, and they've already claimed a victory at both Southern Maine and Pine Tree. They're not slowing down. At Pine Tree, 63-29, 56-87, and 501 were consistently putting up scores in the 190s. Until finals match 2 and the number 2 seed pulled off an upset after both 56-87 and 501 suffered some kind of a robot issue. But that didn't shake them. Lion Swan came back strong in Finals 3, locking in yet another event win. I want to point out how absurd it is that 2 of their partners were having challenges. They only lost by 3. Bucks Wrath was absolutely insane, almost carried them to a win. What makes the Bucks Wrath so dangerous? Elite driving that makes them incredibly difficult to defend, even without a ground pickup. And I would put out there that they might be the best non-ground pickup robot in the entire world. Next up, they have the New England District Championship, where they're going to be looking to win their field for the 2nd year in a row, and they're showing no signs of stopping. I wouldn't put it past them to do that.
So I'll throw it out there. I know that chat's having a couple things in there. Is Bucks Wrath ranked too low in this? I mean, we have some very tough California teams coming up to talk about too. So when you're talking, one side of the country versus the other side on that, does New England hold up against those California powerhouses?
I'd have them at 4. For what I know coming up and the teams, I would have them either at 3 or 4.
I would say it's...
4.
I don't know. Personally, I feel like it's relative. It's relative to the teams that you are playing up against and the teams that you are with. They are a very good robot this year. However, I would say that their ability to score was because of... I think right now with the way that... This past weekend in New England, we had 3 events to start with. So we had teams kind of spread out more. So I think that I'm curious to see how they compete at district champs when there's going to be kind of a heavier, more well-rounded alliance set where you're not going to be left undefended. And I am curious to see where they go from here, because in the past we haven't seen major mechanical upgrades or just like robot kind of shifts in strategy. And this year nobody really has great to play with. So I'm curious to see where they go from here, because there is a good chunk of time before they start playing again. But I do think they're at a good spot for how they've competed and who they've competed against and with. I'm so curious, and I'm curious to see if they can keep that type of like momentum and that type of like just prowess, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Like that, like just ability to meet the high level of competition and like think kind of strategically ahead, like we've seen them already. But I think they have a really strong robot. They have a really solid robot. Like that robot is just gonna plow through anybody that gets in their way anyway. But I think they're in a really good spot for what they've shown so far, and I would like to see if they can get higher up later in the season.
I think,
and we'll see that at New England District Champs, because we've already had how many New England District teams in this top 25? Like they will face off against these teams, and it will be really exciting. So
I think what it comes down to is how is the game evolving? Because in many cases, I mean, there might not be much more defense at a certain high level for things other than maybe LG defense or something like that, right? I don't know if you're going to see, at super high levels, dedicated defenders at championships in playoffs, maybe a couple alliances, but I don't think every alliance is going to. So I think the question comes down to, from pure offensive capability, can Bucks-RAS keep up with the California teams? I think they can definitely keep up. I think it's going to come down to one or two game pieces, right? So is that, one or two game pieces in Bucks-RAS favor, or is that one or two game pieces in some of those California powerhouse favor? And that will be, I think, fascinating to watch as we get the championships too. So with that said, we're going to be hopping into our top 5 in just a little bit. We have our top 50 shout-outs to come as well too, but we do have to draw for our giveaway. Let's do that from our friends at AndyMark as well too. That was once again for the 35 series symmetrical hub sprockets. If you do win, please go to funroboticsnetwork.com, click the button that says giveaway winner, and we'll get your information for that. Congratulations to Mr. Charvy83. Congratulations to you. You are taking home this. Once again, go to funroboticsnetwork.com and click the giveaway button winner for that. We will be starting another giveaway in just a moment, going to our clips of the week and more, but we do want to tell you about actually something really cool that has come our way, and something that we think teams are really going to be interested in. And that is a announcement for our friends at Altair that they're doing the Global Student Contest. You can get more details at altair.com/contest, but here's kind of the breakdown of it. They're giving away multiple $5,000 sponsorships to teams when you submit a video from your team talking about Altair, and we'll talk about Altair in a second, but they're also giving away multiple $2,000, $1,000, and $500 individual prizes for this. So do I got your attention? All you have to do is show off these free Altair software products that they're using, that dozens of FRC teams are already using to optimize their robot. There's many different applications and ways you can do that, from weight savings to different efficiencies you can do for that. And you can even submit multiple parts to enter in multiple times as well too. So right now, I'm pause FRC Top 25 if you have to for a moment, if you're not watching this live, and just go check out altair.com/contest to see if this could be a good fit for your team. I'm just telling you right now, you submit a really good video, your chances are pretty good of winning this as well too. And of course it depends how many enter, but like, man, Altair is really stepping up their game in first. They have some great products. We just talked to Ronnie from 67 yesterday on the hot team. They're using it to optimize their robot as well too. So find out if Altair products are a great thing for you. Altair.com/contest to see if your team is one to enter. They have one of them actually ending at the end of the month. So if you want to get in quick, probably got a good shot with a great video as well. Otherwise, the next contest will start at the end of this month, all the way through the end of June as well too. So altair.com/contest. Let's start our next giveaway from our friends at the Thrifty Bot. Thriftastic is the keyword, and that is for a $25 Thrifty Bot gift card. So type that in chat right now. That's your opportunity to win. And thanks again to our friends at the Thrifty Bot, Thriftastic. And don't forget, for your YouTube sub, you're going to get some extra luck to win. So before we get into our top 50 shoutouts, we're going to head over to our clips of the week. Thank you to everybody who submitted those clips at discord.gg/funroboticsnetwork. This will be up on YouTube as well too a little bit later on, but this gives us a little bit of break. You get to see some of the great clips. Let's take a look.
Looks like they do have a coral in their possession, losing it off the back of their machine, heading back to recollect where their human player rode.
Riding along with 2010 as it attempts to score some algae in the net. Unable to make that connection.
Processor. Valor is unstoppable Uh-oh, Austin Cairns.
Red Storm rookies trying to push them out of the way. 43-81, twisted double.
The remaining 1 minute will determine the future of these teams. PrepaTec Robotics reoriented.
Level 4 for the Blue Alliance may be the last one, and they cap it off for 5 points. They'll have to
61-61, lining up now to drop it.
Red clearing algae and scoring coral. But one algae just falls out.
Now we're end game, 7 seconds left. Bear in the air, as is 80-32.
They turn, they're trying to line it up, place it, and good. Celtics.
62-38 from the Red Alliance in the blue side right now. Looks like they might be playing defense. 10-6-44, lining up for a coral shot. Heading for L1, and they've got it.
3-8, go! And we are off for match 10, starting Red Alliance.
Nice hour, man.
Do their work. Ratchet Robotics working their way back to
Human player from Cyborgs out of Pullman, scooping up 4 points for the return. Wow!
35-7 center field as well. Ursuline Robotics looks like they've just launched a piece of algae from their reef, make their way to their human player station, grab a piece of coral.
And in the air for the Red Alliance, LamBot making a final score into the processor. Robonauts making a final score. We've got teams parking. Final algae being scored into the barge. 1 and time. It's
around the reef. They've got coral in their possession. They're going to try to place it high for another 5. It falls back onto their robot.
Their energy. 42-16 here.
Player is playing with the defense. That is good.
Eliminated, and making a case for them to keep going right now is Alliance 8.
And don't forget to submit your clips at discord.gg/Fun Robotics Network by each Monday. Thanks again to everybody doing that. By the way, we do draw a merch card for everybody who submits that week, regardless if you use your clip or not on that. So I think every week we give away a $20 Fun merch gift card for that. So thank you everybody who contributes to that as well too. It's a lot of fun to put together, and always good. Even the goods and the bads. I think that's kind of the fun thing about clips of the week. It's meant to be jovial. You know, robots sip over. Let's have fun and enjoy it. That sort of thing too. So before we get into our top 5, let's talk about our top 50 shoutouts. We're going to bring that up on screen here for the teams that were ranked 26 through 50. I'm sure I have that somewhere. There we go. So these are teams that ranked 26 through 50 on screen. To see some great contenders this week too. I mean, such depth as we went into all these. But let's throw it back to each of our correspondents to talk about one of these teams to shout out. Kristine, who do you want to shout out this week that's in 26 through 50?
Well, it's funny that, I already mentioned Leominster, because the team I'm going to mention is from nearby. It's 1768 from Bolton, Massachusetts. They were ranked way too low, in my opinion. They had a really solid week 1 showing, and they had an even stronger week 3 showing. Major improvements. They've gotten crazy consistent and crazy fast with scoring. Their funnel for dropping their game pieces in is getting crazier, and they practice with 190. So seeing them complement 190 so well at that event, that they just came off of at URI was not surprising, but it was definitely like okay. Like, yep, there it is on the field happening in front of us. But their algae game was by far the strongest at the URI district event. So I was shocked to see that they're pretty low, but I know that they're not necessarily a well-known name in the overall FRC or fun community yet. So keep an eye on them. You were probably confusing them with 190 if you were watching URI playoffs, because they were both insanely fast, little zippy, black, flashy robots. So 1768 is my shout out. And who's next?
Ari.
Ari.
It's me, and I secretly have 2 shoutouts. So my first one is going to be 340, because if you haven't seen this robot already, you should go see it. But my actual shoutout is going to be Team 571 Paragon. This is their first time ever making the top 50. Last year, they built an amp-only robot, and they were fine. They were a really great third robot, didn't really make district champs, didn't get picked at their second event, but built the right robot for their team. And wow, what a turnaround this year. They built a mechanically functional and just really cool robot this year that actually works and does things and plays this game super effectively. They compete next at week 5 at Hartford, and I'm just so excited to see where they go to district champs and beyond.
Yeah, for me, my top 50 is 3276, the Toolcats. Now, picture in your head 359, 2910, and then add to that 3276. Same archetype. Honestly, they're probably as good in teleop. I would say they're not a step behind either of those teams in teleop. They could improve their auto, but we're talking about a team. They're the best team in Minnesota, and it's going to be a first-round pick, if not early first-round pick at champs type of robot. They're amazing deep climb that archetype allows for, and I mean, really 3276. They came in at 27. I would have loved to see them break into the top 25, but this is a team that could realistically be in the top 20. They're incredible, and they really need to get some respect on their name.
Also, great shirts. Saw them at champs last year, just like so good. And Tyler, what about you?
All right. I usually try to diversify and pick teams. I'm going to do a bit more research things. I got to give a shout out to 987, the High Rollers, a team that has been very near and dear to my heart for a really long time for things. They compete at the Utah Regional, which may not have all the glitz and glamour of some of those events over in California. I get it, that sort of thing. But this is an awesome set of finals that 987, their alliance competed in. And honestly, big shout out to 498, 8005, and 2122 for putting up a heck of a fight. They actually beat this alliance in the bracket going through. One finals won, and then the other alliance came back and won both matches on there. So, but overall, when I think 987, they usually build very complex robots, and at least from what I can see here, and I'll get to see them in Vegas in a couple weeks, this might be one of their more simplistic robots, mechanically at least. Great LG manipulator that drops at an angle. I really love how they are scoring their LG on here. It just seems very accurate to me. And I don't see really many misses. The coral chute intake and elevator is pretty straightforward. Overall, quite accurate in delivery as well, too. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch them. Shout out to their alliance partner as well, too. 7426 Paradise Robotics for a great competition. It'll be very interesting to see. Those two will be at Vegas. High Tide's going to be at Vegas. A couple other great teams as well, too. So shout out to High Rollers, and good luck. I'll see you in just a couple weeks. All right, Kristine, we're going to get into our top 5 here. Who do we have in the 5th spot?
So in the 5th spot, we have Team 254 from San Jose, California. It's the legendary Cheesy Poofs, making their 2025 debut at Sacramento, aka Stacramento. They rank second with a 15-2 record, taking home the blue banner and proving once again why they are one of the best in FRC. Their elite scoring ability was on full display in semifinal 7 match 1, where they helped their alliance put up a dominant 204 points. 254's autonomous was dialed in, placing multiple coral on L4, setting up easy super cycle transition in teleop. 254 has brought a very unique end effector designed to REEFSCAPE, with the intention of bouncing off the reef and automatically aligning and scoring coral. Their quick intake and rapid shot alignment allowed them to clear the reef efficiently, while their smooth barge climb locked in crucial endgame points. As the first pick of the number 1 alliance, they joined forces with 1678 Citrus Circuits and 7137 Project 212. Is that their team name? I think I may have put it in incorrectly. I apologize. Sweeping through the playoffs with back-to-back 200+ point match wins, including a dominant 204-point semifinal performance. Their consistent high-level play and elite coordination helped secure the regional win, alongside taking home the Autonomous Award for their precise and reliable, crazy multi-piece auto execution. Next up, they'll be competing at the East Bay Regional in week 6, so they've got time to fine tune their already elite machine before heading to Houston. Expect 254 to be dialed in and ready for even bigger scores week 6 when they take the field again.
By the way, it is Project 212, which for that.
Okay,
You
I
did
was
get it
like,
right,
wait a
yeah,
minute.
on there.
Okay.
So we talk a lot about ceilings on this show. I don't know that we have this time, but I know previous shows we've talked about teams not being close to their ceiling. I think 254 epitomizes that. They are first event of the year, just in their stride. You can see the potential oozing from that robot, but they're not quite there yet. But they're showing all the signs of another Einstein world champion level type machine. It's all there. They just got to put it together.
So what do you think they can improve upon the most?
Hard. I mean, it's Kristine. Maybe you got better comment.
Or
well, I feel like it. I mean, I was gonna say, like, I noticed, and this is just me after being a mega fan of them since I will say their 2000 robots my favorite of all time. However, like, their machines are scary simple, but it takes a lot of precise coordination and just like a lot of just preciseness in order to get everything to work exactly how it needs to. And when I feel like when this is optimized to the Poof's point that it will get to very soon, if not already, like, it is going to be scary. Like, their approach to the reef, like, it made no sense to me at first, and watching it over and over, like, and after kind of hearing more about it, it makes sense. And I feel like when they get more practice with that, or just more kind of tuning with it, either way, I never want to be across the field from them, period. So for whatever anybody's opinion is, be what it may, but this robot's only going to get better. So that is my take on it.
Yeah. All right, let's keep moving on here as we're a little bit short for time. Let's go to number 4.
Yeah, up to our 4th spot out of Houston, Texas, and Clear Creek Independent School District, it's the Robonauts. Still on their Alliance 1 and winner streak, 118 already has 3 banners on the season and is looking for more. Their robot Firefly returned to first in Texas to play the Manor event this weekend. With an improved 3-coral auto that goes so smooth, I cannot figure out how they make it every single time in time for auto to end. 118 has made good of their head start on the Coral RP and ended qualifications with a rank score of 4.92, even with 3 losses. With the help of 6800, they were able to take the event in 2 matches, with scores 60 points above their opponents. Continuing on the World Tour, or should I say the Out of the World Tour, 118 heads next to their home event in Houston this week, looking to continue the Blue Banner streak and possibly beat last year's total of 8. Good luck, 118.
This event coming up, I think arguably is probably their easiest event out of all of them so far. Just looking at the competitors on the field for that, I'm just gonna say, God, it would be really cool if they paired up with their EveryBot. That's also going to be at that event. I think it would be a lot of fun for as well too. And there are definitely some good teams at this event, but I think overall EPA wise, I think it's quite a bit different than some of the other ones. So to me, 118 is just running on easy money at this point. You obviously want to win every event you go to, but man, practice, and get ready for DCMP and beyond for them, because they are absolutely blasting off this year.
The EveryBot is awesome too, by the way. We built one for our middle school team, and they're playing with it, and it's cooking. It's really, really fun to play with. We're coming up on the top 3 now, I believe, from Davis, California. Doesn't need an introduction, but Team 1678, the Citrus Circuits. They're once again proving why they're one of the best in the world. With a 30-4 record, they've already stacked up 3 banners, including an Impact Award at the Pinnacles Regional. They captained the number 1 alliance at both of their events, with their only loss at Sacramento coming in a 3-point quals match loss to 254. When the playoffs hit, Citrus Circuits and 254 dominated, winning their 10th event together while putting up 200-plus points in every match except for 1. The 5th alliance didn't make it easy, pushing them to the limit in match number 7, where both alliances broke 200 points, and 1678's alliance hit an event-high 223 points. Next up, we have the Contra Costa Regional in Week 5, followed by the first championship, where Citrus will once again be a contender for the top prize.
I mean, consistently fun to watch. I mean, this is a team ad nauseum we speak about, and they're just both robot and team-wise incredibly inspirational. So I don't know how much we'll have to say about them because we have spoken a lot, but Citrus is awesome. Love to see them here, and I can't wait to see them continue to compete.
It's Citrus. They're good.
And by the way, I just want to point out their next event. They do have a couple other top 25 teams they'll be going into. A little bit of spoiler. 1323 will be somewhere in the next two. They're going to be there. PrepaTec LamBot that we just spoke about earlier. They're actually going to be out at Contra Costa as well too. So I'm very excited to see kind of the depth of this event and who else can do it. 604 Quicksilver's been looking really good too. So be very excited to see them in the next event. A little mix up in the teams. It feels like in California. I think that's going to be a lot of fun.
For sure. And we ready to go to 2? Speaking of California?
Drama's in the 2 spot.
All right. Well, in the number 2 spot, we have Team 5940 from Redwood City, California. It's bread. I got waffles and bread tonight. I got so lucky. A top-tier scoring team, a scoring machine. 5940 ranked second at the Silicon Valley Regional with a 16-1 record, proving themselves as the perfect pick for an already dominant 1323 MadTown Robotics. Their standout performance in quals, match 24 especially, showcased exactly why MadTown couldn't pass them up. Brett opened up the match with a dialed-in autonomous, placing multiple Coral on L4, setting up a high-speed supercycle set throughout teleop. Their smooth paths and reef clearing efficiency kept scoring lanes open, allowing them to maintain control of the match and put up a high-scoring performance under pressure. The bread machine is one of the best ground-loaded Coral robots we've seen so far in REEFSCAPE, and I'd expect them to only get better as they move ahead and dial in their algae game. As the first pick of the number 1 alliance, they joined 1323 MadTown Robotics and 649 MSET Fish, forming a near unstoppable trio. In Finals 2, they locked down another elite performance, helping their alliance post a dominating 209-130 win, securing the blue banner. Their Excellence in Engineering Award was just another testament to their technical execution and design. Brett will be back in action this weekend at the San Francisco Regional, looking to stack another banner before heading to Houston. Expect them to keep delivering an elite level of play as they fine-tune their already impressive machine.
I just want to call it, and actually Epiphany put this in chat too. It's absolutely insane this alliance was able to get MSET Fish for their third robot. This was just such a well-built alliance for this, and really, really cool. Brett, going into the last few years, you can't say the bread will rise, right? I guess you can. So,
are you a breadhead? I'm a breadhead.
What is a breadhead?
It's like a deadhead. Like instead of a fangirl.
Oh.
Like deadheads are like just like those posse of people that are just like, man, I'm obsessed. I'm low-key obsessed.
Yeah.
They travel in packs sometimes, but like redheads, they're so good. Every year they're so good. But this year this robot is insane. Their ground pickup is how so good.
They had a great robot last year too, but they had some unfortunate, I think, circumstances hit them at championships where they lost quite a few matches. They ended up getting out in match 9 for things. Brett overall is really, really, really good, and it'll be interesting to see, when they get a chance to mix it up with other California teams, what that might look like for them as well too. Did you say they play one more? I think so, right? San Francisco week 4, yeah. So
yes, San Fran.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, that to me is that's an instant lock team at San Francisco for sure.
All right, and that leaves the number 1 spot.
We all know who this is going to be. First in the world in overall EPA, towering over the next ranked team by nearly 15 points added at their debut event of the season. From Madera, California, and Madera High School, it's MadTown Robotics. This is the best robot in the world, period. With performances from all but a handful of top teams in the book, MadTown debuted their robot this weekend at Silicon Valley. And wow, what a debut it was. 5.75 rank score, 17-0-0, undefeated record. Coral RPs in all but one of their matches.
Wow. 9
qualifications with 6 RP matches. MadTown put on a show this weekend. With their 2910 style arm and claw intake, this is the least fridge robot I've ever seen 1323 build. Their auto pulls the 3 pre-staged coral along with their preload, scoring 4 on L4. They use their drop-down intake to hand off to their manipulator or score on L1 to secure the coral RP. And I'm going to say that this robot still has room to improve. Their floor intaking really has to wait for the human player to feed enough out at this point. We could see them reach even higher highs at the Contra Costa Regional in 2 weeks at week 5. So congratulations, MadTown. Can't wait to see what they come up with for week 5.
So good.
I want to put it out there that, I mean, there's like robots that live in history that as like the best ever, right? 254, 2018, 1114 in 2008. There's some others I'm going to forget, but if the season ended right now, 1323's got to be in that conversation for standard deviations above the mean. Now, I would throw out there that other teams have more room for improvement than they do. 1323 is at the peak. They're at the precipice. I think 254 and other teams like that may be able to close the gap a little bit, but if they don't, we're talking about maybe the most dominant robot that we've ever seen.
I would agree. And
especially in modern FRC, yeah.
Yes.
Right.
And I'm so excited to see this robot in person because it just makes no sense. Like, and I know that you said it's not a fridge robot, but I feel like it's a fridge robot the long way this year. Like that robot just goes so many directions.
Long fridge.
A long way. But MadTown is just mad out of their minds. Like this is out of control, crazy good, and I can't believe they have another like this was what their first event, debut event.
This is their first event, yeah.
And
it could again, week 5. Yeah.
I want to point out one other thing that's maybe a little bit different than just the robot itself. And we actually saw this from 118 a couple of weeks ago as well, too. And it's actually their human player and how they're entering coral. If you notice on the bottom right of the screen, they're actually doing this kind of rolling the coral in. And it doesn't always work, but sometimes that coral gets right next to the reef for them. And I absolutely love that they're able to just get this where really MadTown pretty much just has to barely, like right there, it gets all the way to the reef. I mean, that's phenomenal because essentially that's a protected coral now for the most part, where you can just grab it, score right away, and it's easy peasy, right? So I think we're going to see more teams utilizing that in the future as well too. But cool to see that they've pretty near perfected what that is. I think it's a very effective strategy for them. So kudos to the human player in them.
It's like an example of just how hungry they are. Like they have not stopped pushing like ever since. I mean, every year, whether they, like win or don't win on Einstein, they are just pushing and pushing and pushing. And this is like such a great example of like every like fleck of everybody's like role on the team can be optimized. Like, how can we like optimize this in order to like, go and do that faster? So if that was event 1, I'm excited and terrified for their event 2.
Well, congratulations to them and all the teams on the FRC Top 25. Before we head out, if you are watching live, we're going to draw for that giveaway once again from our friends at the Thrifty Bot for a $25 Thrifty Bot gift card. If you do win, please go to funroboxnetwork.com and click that link. Congratulations to Techno Robotics. They were typing quite a bit in chat. Congrats to you. Go to funroboxnetwork.com and make sure you click the giveaway winner link so we can get that out to you. That will be a digital gift card, by the way. Couple quick announcements before we let you all go. If you are interested, we do have our FRC Fantasy Pick'em going on, where you get 250 fake dollars to pick the ultimate 5-team alliance. So if you go on our Discord or on Chief Delphi or to funroboxnetwork.com/FRC Pick'em, you can participate in that. That will close at the end of Wednesday each week, featuring teams from our featured events in forecasts as well, too. A lot of fun to play. We even give away a prize every week as well, too. So hop on our Discord, go check that out. It's a really fun to just pick some teams and see how it does. Gets you a little bit more interested in some events that maybe you weren't focused on before as well, too. So hop on our Discord for that to get more information. We appreciate everybody tuning in for the FRC Top 25 Week 3. Before everybody go quick around the horn, where everybody's going to be at or what you're doing. Ari, let's start with you. What are you looking at week 4?
This weekend, I'll be probably at the Lafayette District. If not, I'll be watching it, but I really want to go to the reptile show that is on Saturday, so you can catch me there.
Nice. Ryan, how about yourself?
Yeah, we're in crunch time. We haven't competed yet. We compete week 5, and so we're we're buttoning everything up, trying to be ready for our first event of the year.
And Kristine, you're competing this week at WPI, right?
Correct. And honestly, I love that venue. It's just really, really nice. They are awesome. But yeah, getting ready for another event. What about you, Tyler?
I'm going to head down just for a day to the Seven Rivers Regional. It's the closest event to me in Wisconsin. So I'm actually going to bring my family down, maybe grab an interview or two, but mostly just there to enjoy the event as well. So if you're at Seven Rivers, look forward to seeing you there. Please come and say hi. I'll have my hat on and all that stuff as well too on Saturday. So good luck to all teams competing in week 4 and beyond. Don't forget the FRC Top 25 poll opens on Sundays by 5 p.m. Eastern. It will be posted on Cheat Delphi, on our socials, and on our Discord. Otherwise, it's just funroboxnetwork.com/FRC Top 25. There's a link on our website as well, too. Don't forget that the FRC Top 25 airs on Tuesdays. We only have 3 more weeks left of this. We have 4, 5, and 6. The 6th one is the final one for all teams before we go into championships, but a lot of more great content coming to you on our YouTube page at Fun Robotics Network, from behind the bumpers to our Funanalysis. Clips of the week just got posted as well too. So a lot of more great stuff, and even some FTC and other stuff as well too you can check out there. So we wish you all best of luck. Don't forget to vote, and good luck everybody in week number 4. We'll see you next time on Fun. Talk to you then. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell to stay up to date on future fun videos. AndyMark provides superior service with the reliability that teams expect. Check out their Sport Gearbox and Ratchet Sport options to their tried and true compliant wheels used by teams all over the world. From mechanical and electrical products to tools and hardware, head on over to AndyMark.com for your one-stop shop of high quality and affordable solutions. Earn up to a $5,000 sponsorship for your team or a $2,000 individual prize when you provide a video submission to the Altair Global Student Contest at altair.com/contest. You can build better robots faster with Altair tools and provide multiple video submissions for the contest. Download Altair tools for free. Scan the QR code or go to altair.com/contest for further details.